I'm going to show you how to go from this horrid little monstrosity of a sorry excuse for an electrical receptacle to something a little more fitting and proper, like your traditional electrical receptacle that can be found at any hardware store in this country. However, in order to do that, we're going to have to use one of these. It's an electrical box that is often referred to as for old work. Yeah, not new work, old work. Okay folks, so the first thing we're going to do here is we got to be safe. We're going to take our little circuit tester and make sure that we actually did kill the power. So I'm not getting any beeping here. My light is green. Everything looks real good. Now you need to make sure that you know exactly how to kill the power to whatever electrical device you're working on. Otherwise, look, you really need to go ahead and just call a professional. Now, in order to prevent damaging some of the paint that might be stuck to it, it's not a bad idea to have a razor knife and to just make sure you just go around it just to cut any paint seal that might have occurred so that you don't end up pulling the paint off of your wall as you're removing your receptacle. And here it is, guys. And here's the little tab that actually holds it back there. This one came off. Actually, it looks like both of them came off. These two items have literally been built in together to create one single inexpensive product that is ultimately pretty cheap. So take a good look here, folks. This set of wires literally just kind of fell right out of it as I pulled the backside off. This next set is actually still in place, and upon a close-up here you can see that there is actually nothing holding these wires in place, and that they are just bladed in where they're cut through on the insulation in order to make contact. And this is really and truly a pretty chintzy design. So if you're fortunate enough that in your particular setup there's only one set of Romex line coming out, then that just makes things a little bit simpler. The second set that I have leads to another receptacle. Okay, so we're either going to be chained in or we're going to be just kind of at the end on one line itself. So if it's only one line, the very cool thing is all you have is 3 connections. Now note, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, we only need 3. So we have our neutral wire, we have our hot wire, we have our ground wire. That's going to simply be connected in such a way that our power wire, if you look closely, is going to go on the goldish, brassish looking fastener. The white neutral wire is going to go on the lighter colored, more chromish appearing one, and our ground is going to go on the green. It doesn't matter which ones you use, whether you use the top ones or the bottom, it's going to all go to the same place regardless. However, my particular setup is not quite that streamlined, and that's okay. The only place that this really makes a real difference is the ground. Now, if you are fortunate enough to have plenty of length of Romex coming out to work with, then go ahead and cut yourself about 6 inches of it. And what we're going to do here is simply remove this ground piece. So we've got a good 6 inches of good copper wire right here to use. We need to cut just enough to peel back. Give ourselves something to work with here. And again, without cutting insulation. Now, before we slide the new box onto the wires, I want to show you these tabs. And this is what allows this to work in what they call old work. If it was a new work style, then it would come with nails, which means it would be secured to studs during the original construction of the house. However, we're beyond the original construction, and this is a manufactured home, so things are a little bit different. The way these old work styles function is once it is slid into the cavity that you've opened up or created, you will then begin to tighten these screws, which will bring this tab in place, and it will secure against the sheetrock in your house. But we'll go ahead, pop in a couple of tabs here to allow for our cables to come through. Now, it's very likely you're going to have to open up the sheetrock in order to get the new electrical box to fit. We're almost there, folks. Now, I could take off a whole lot more, but what I don't want are a large gap. That can be a problem for insulation. So we want to get it just as tight and proper as can be with very little gap. All right, folks. I think we've got it now. We've actually got a functioning electrical box. So what's happening now is as I rotate it to the right, it kicks that tab up, and as I tighten it in, it brings that tab out to the wall. So I can actually feel it tightening against the sheetrock now. Same function on the bottom here. And I now feel it tightening right there against the sheetrock. So now, if you have plenty of length coming off of these, in order to create a pigtail, because we only have, while we have enough posts for, two black powers, 2 white neutrals, but we only have one spot for ground. So what we need to do is pigtail a ground in order to tie both of these grounds properly into the receptacle ground. And if you can take your ground piece out of the section of Romex you're able to cut, only if you have enough, folks, then what we then are able to do is put them together and basically twist them in such a fashion that they begin to function. We put 3 together and they will function as one ground. This is what they call a pigtail. So now with our 3rd ground wire, we're able to tie in 2 into this one pigtail and come out. So now we have 1 black, 2 black, 1 neutral, 2 neutral, and 1 ground. However, we're not done with that. We have to put a wire nut on there. just make sure your wire nut is large enough to be able to handle all three of those. Okay, so at this point, it's all simply a matter of stripping the wire, putting our proper J-hooks on, and we can now begin to assemble this just like any normal setup. So a very important tip to remember, if you are coming from one of these style receptacles, then earlier in the video I pointed out how these are blades that are designed to cut through the insulation. Well, in order to go into a proper J-hook style, what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to cut the wire back far enough that we're able to go just beyond the damage to the insulation. Now the best tool to use for this is a proper stripper. See how easy and neat that comes off. One of the features of these style receptacles is they actually show a gauge right here for how long of a section of bare exposed wire that you need. And what I cut might actually be just a smidge longer, but if it was much longer than that, I just simply snip off some off the end. So all our points are ready to receive their hook. We have two neutrals that I'm going to leave on this side. And we have two hots that I'm going to leave on that side, which should correspond to the lighter side, which I already explained is the neutral, and the darker side, which is for the power, and then down here at the bottom for our ground. Now the idea is to make sure that your J follows the rotation of the screw. So you see how our J hook came from the top this way and back. That's going to facilitate good contact as we tighten our connection point. At this point, we're all hooked in. It's just a matter of tucking everything back in place and screwing it down. Now, let's see if she works. We have power. Redsmith out.